Good morning, everybody. Okay, so let me just I've been trying to get into the WebEx myself, and I don't know if I can, but I know the judge has allowed coverage on it from the media. So let me just check something here. What's it saying in a second? Just let me find this, you guys, so I can pull it up to show you. There's tons of paperwork here. Okay. So I'll share this. Hang on a second, you guys. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so here it is here. I can't make it bigger because it's not in as a PDF here. So now this is the docket from Twitter. They put it. He posted this. It says the hearing will be broadcast via WebEx. The WebEx meeting will be limited to the participants, court personnel, and court security, and Lauren Scharf. Fox 21 is designated the pool reporting agency and may record the proceedings. Fox 21 is obligated to share their footage with other media and agencies. So now what I am doing is trying to find where it's being broadcast. I've got about 8 tabs open here. So as soon as I start getting any information, it doesn't start for another 15 minutes, you guys. So I don't think we can get into the WebEx, but I do believe there's going to be information being sent out from the courtroom, from Fox News or Lauren or somebody, that I will be able to let you know what's going on. Now, as it stands right now, you guys, he's charged with 2 felonies and a misdemeanor. Okay. Now, he hasn't been arraigned yet, which means he hasn't pled guilty or not guilty yet. And this was all supposed to happen last month. Okay. So what's happened was last month they postponed this because the Iris Eaton had said that they were close to making a deal with the prosecution. Now, as far as I'm concerned, no deal should be made because he admitted to doing everything that he is charged with. So there he is. Hey, Matt. So yeah, so I seen this too. Matt put it out. So if you haven't checked out Matt Blanc Inc., go and check him out, both on on YouTube and Twitter. So we've been watching. Now, Matt and I were going back and forth this morning on Twitter, wondering, like, is Fox 21 going to stream it, or is she just going to tweet about it? We don't know what's going to end up happening. But I do know that they have to share it. So does that mean they have to share it as it's going on? Because the wording of that is really, it leaves it open, right, to interpretation, to whoever's reading it. Good morning, Nana. Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry I haven't given a lot of hellos. Just let me get through this and I'll shout everybody out. Hi, Joy. So does that mean that they're going to be able to stream it because they got the pool reporting agency? The court made sure that it was in there that if they don't share it out to the other media, then they're not allowed in there either. So I don't know if she's just going to be tweeting out about it, if they're going to be streaming it, or if they're going to only stream it after the fact. But we are here and I'm getting ready here. I've got about 5-6 different tabs for news agencies and everything open. So if somebody does start streaming it, I will be able to catch it. But we're really up in the air whether this is going to be streamed from the WebEx, or if it's only going to be streamed afterwards. Are we only going to get information coming out? We should know something pretty quickly here. So far, nobody is saying anything about it. Now, I don't know if the judge is good. It's Judge Murphy this time. It's not Lama. Lama's gone. And it was Judge Lama that put the kibosh on everything. No tweeting, no this, no that, no information coming into the courtroom, no live streaming, no this, no that. But now it's back in Judge Murphy's hands. Let me check something else, you guys. Hang on a second. Let's see if it's going to be over here. And Judge Patrick Murphy used to have a YouTube channel, and it's gone. So it's not going to be there. So just bear with me. I'm not ignoring anybody. I'm just looking around trying to see if I can get information somewhere. As far as I'm concerned, this should have been open. The WebEx should have been open for everybody, not just media. And one media to boot. There should have been one pool camera and everybody should be able to live stream it as far as I'm concerned. That's an open and transparent system that they should have. So I am keeping an eye here, you guys. There's a couple of the reporters that usually show Barry and his daughters coming into the courtroom, but Barry is only going to be appearing via WebEx. So what that tells me, that already tells me some information. Either they've came to a deal or he's just going to enter a plea. Okay. I am assuming by him only going to appear by WebEx that he is going to enter a plea. Because if there was a deal made, unless there was a deal made and he's not getting jail time, because if there was a deal made and instead of each of the felonies can get up to 5 years each in prison, that would be 10 years on 2 felonies. Then you got the misdemeanor. So if there was any jail time, he would have to be at the courtroom if they agreed to a certain amount of jail time, say like 2 years. He would have to be in that courtroom when the deal is presented to the judge because they would immediately take him into custody. So either one of two things have happened. They've either made a deal where he's not going to get any jail time, or he's going to just enter a plea and go to trial. Yeah, I checked that one too, Matt. Let me just see here. I've been following, I checked on Sydney too, and she hasn't posted anything. That she's going to be covering it. Let me just, hang on, I'll search her again. Sydney. I got Sydney here too. She's up on my screen, and there's nothing from her since July 17th. So I do believe if anything's going to come out, it's going to be through Lauren. If she's allowed to live tweet from the courtroom. Okay, here we go. I got it, you guys. Okay, so in court, Barry Morphew will have his arraignment this morning at 9 a.m. for allegedly voting for his missing wife, Suzanne Morphew, in the ballot in 2020. Charges of forgery of public records and election mail ballot fraud offense. And she says she's going to be sharing the WebEx recording with other media outlets. So let's go back over here. I found it. Okay, so let me just see with if they got anything up here. No, not there. How about here? Now, if this is going to go live, this is where I'm going to get it. If the other news medias are going to, oh, I retweeted this morning, you guys. $65 million that belongs to Colorado Springs residents remains unclaimed at the state treasury office. This is all jewelry and money and stuff like that that had been stolen. Can you imagine $65 million worth of stolen property still unclaimed from Colorado Springs residents? Wow. Okay, I'm going to go back to here. I've got both up. So I've got the live up here. And where did you go? Let me get this one up too in case they do live stream it. Shit. I mean, poop. Hang on, you guys. Okay, I've got that one up too. In case. Hang on. Oh my god, all these tabs. I've got all these. Whoops, what the heck was that? Okay. Let me just get her back up here. Is this it? Oops, that's not it. Hang on a sec, you guys. Okay, I'm getting screwed up here. Hang on a sec, you guys. Okay, so I'm live here. Colorado Seed. Okay, so that's live. Matt, do you have the link for Fox 21? Can you tweet me it? Okay, sorry you guys for not chatting a bit here. I'm just trying to get all the feeds up that I can so we can get the best chance at getting all the information. But once I get this all up, I will. Okay, what's this one say? I'll see if Matt can tweet me the See, a local woman just got jail time for voter fraud. So he better get jail time out of this. And if he doesn't, there's something seriously wrong, you guys. Oh, thank you, Jenna. Okay, so right now it should be starting anytime. So forgery, public records, election, mail, ballot fraud, and there's also a misdemeanor that he's got too. I think it has to do with that gun. Okay, thanks for that, Matt. Hang on. Sorry, I'm just answering Matt here, you guys. Okay. So the last information was like 8 minutes ago. Okay, so let me just see if I got the Fox News up also. Just in case they do stream it. Matt graciously sent me the link. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Matt. I got it, and I messaged you back on Twitter. Everybody's saying so far that they think he's only going to get a slap on the wrist again. Let's hope not, you guys. So that's what I am assuming, you guys. Either because he is, for those of you just joining, because Barry is not going to be in the courtroom, that gives me information, okay? He's going to be on WebEx. It tells me that they've either reached a deal and he's getting no jail time, or he's going to enter a plea. Because if they reached a deal with him getting, say, instead of the 10 years that he could get, only getting 2 or 3 years, he would have to be in the courtroom itself so they could immediately take him into custody. So one of two things have happened. Either he's just going to enter a plea and go to trial, or they've made a deal with him that he's getting no jail time. And I've got everything up here, you guys. And I am watching for it. I got like about 8 tabs open now. So if this gets out anywhere, I will. Oh, here we go. Here we go, you guys. Oh my God. Why can't I? Oh, it's a GIF. Okay. Let me share my screen, you guys. So we are only going to be getting tweets because here we go. They are in court. Look at, he is with Iris Eaton. Okay, so this is just a GIF that she took, you guys. So she's not going to be streaming it from what I, hang on, let me see. Let me see. Which means it's only a snippet. So I do believe that she will be putting out information. Let me just check the other Fox and that and see if they are streaming it. I doubt they are. Yeah. Yeah, because this is just on a loop. So this is... Yeah. Like, this is ridiculous, you guys. Like, he has to get some kind of jail time out of this. And by the looks of it, poor Bear living with Eaton. Oh, God, Matt. Okay. So anything that she can share with us, you guys, I will bring to you. They are just starting now, so the snippet that she sent, there's only one prosecutor in there. Okay, let me jump over to the other. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Sydney's not reporting on it, so. And Fox 21 is not got it up on a live, so the only one we have to rely on is one here. So I'll put this up again. Oh, what's this? Okay, so anything, I'm hoping anything that's being said is we're going to get it here, but they are. Barry Morphew is with Iris Eaton in the same room. It looks like her home. It doesn't look like an office. I will share this again just to show you guys. I'm not going to leave it on screen because I don't want to get strut. But there he is right here. And it looks like he's in her home. Okay, so this is for the voter fraud, bribing an official, and the gun charge, I believe. Okay, Barry Morphew's taking a plea agreement. He's pleading guilty to forgery, and the sentencing is happening right now. So I'm going to tell you, he's getting no jail time. He's taking a plea. He's pleading guilty to forgery, which means he's getting off on the voter fraud, or well, no, that would be the forgery, the voter fraud. But trying to influence an official on the gun charge, he's getting off on. They've dropped those two charges. So the judge is sentencing him now. And I'm going to tell you right now, he's not going to get jail time because if there was already a plea agreement and it was all agreed upon before this court hearing, if he was going to be sentenced to jail time, he would have had to be there in person because they would have taken him into custody right away. Like, this is ridiculous. There was a comment that was made that there was a woman that just pled guilty to the voter fraud and she was sentenced to jail time. So how is he voter fraud, trying to influence an official and a gun charge, and he's not going to get jail time? They haven't said yet, you guys. It could be he needs to turn himself in, but I'm saying he's not getting jail time. But let's see. So forgery of public records, election fraud. And it looks like they've dropped the gun charge. So they've dropped the election ballot offense. They've dropped the trying to bribe the official, and they dropped the gun charge. He's pleading guilty to forgery. That is it. Forgery of public records. That's the deal. Like, how do you give this guy a deal when he admitted to doing everything he did? So let's see. We're still waiting on what the judge is going to sentence him to. But as it looks like right now, because he is not in the courtroom, it doesn't look like he's going to get any jail time, or they would have wanted him in the courtrooms because they would have taken him into custody right away. No, he did not sign her name. He witnessed an empty signature line and cast the ballot. He did not sign her name. Then there was the charge of trying to bribe an official and a gun charge. The trying to bribe the official and the gun charge looks like to me that it's been dropped. He's being charged with the forgery for voting for his wife. He did not sign her name. He witnessed. He signed his name as a witness to her casting her ballot. Okay, Eaton says Morphew has found significant work in the Denver metro area. He has spent to get through the last 2 years of his life. She is asking for community service for sentencing. Exactly, Sarah. And the gun charge has been dismissed too, yes. So right now, Eaton, now they're arguing, well, they're presenting their own now to the judge, and Iris Eaton says Barry Morphew has found significant work in the Denver metro area. He has spent to get through the last 2 years of his life. She's asking for community service. In other words, he had to put up the $500,000. Well, you got that $500,000 back. And he's lost the work due to being under house arrest, blah, 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 blah. Oh, poor Barry, you killed your wife. So that's one of the arguments she is making against any jail time. She is asking for community service. So let's see what the prosecution is going to offer to the judge now. And we'll see what the judge decides. The judge may say that he's going to take it under advisement and he's going to take a couple days to think about it. Who knows? That's what they usually do, right? I'll take it under advisement so he can take some time to think about it. I don't know if that's what he's going to do. I'm just theorizing here, you guys. Eaton says he signed the witness line because he had legal guardianship. That was the wrong choice, and he understands that. Murphy is asking if he voted. Did he put that ballot in? Yes, he did. So Judge Murphy right now is saying, okay, because Eaton just said he signed the witness line because he had legal guardianship. That was a wrong choice, and he understands that now. But Judge Murphy is saying, okay, he signed the witness line. Did he actually cast that ballot? If he did, he's got to give him jail time. He did cast the ballot from what we know. Yes, it's voter fraud, and that's what he's charged with. He absolutely did. You're right, you guys. And this is the only charge that he's going to be sentenced on. The trying to bribe an official and the gun charge in this plea deal is dropped. She's asking, no, he hasn't been sentenced yet, Mary Michael. Iris Eaton is asking for community service. But depending on how Iris Eaton answers this, because Judge Murphy is asking, did he vote? Did he cast that ballot? If he did, he has to sentence him to jail time. Like, there was a woman that was just, okay, they are now clarifying that Barry Morphew did vote for Trump in the 2020 presidential election for Suzanne Morphew on her ballot. Now, there's a woman in Colorado that just did the exact same thing. She cast a ballot that was not hers to cast, and she got time in jail. Let's see what happens with Barry. Yes, by law, he should be facing jail. There's a woman that was just sentenced to jail for doing the same thing. Okay, so Judge Murphy asked if Barry Morphew wanted to say something during his sentencing. He looks at his attorney and says something. She shakes her head and he says no. So he's such a coward, he can't even say anything to the judge on these charges. He's a coward. Exactly, Renee. If he doesn't get jail time, there's something seriously wrong here. Yes, he did have legal guardianship, I think, when he signed it. But that's still, you still cannot vote for somebody else, even if you have legal guardianship over them. Voting is different. It has its own set of rules. If a person is dead, you can't vote for a dead person because you're executor to their estate. Exactly. See, she got 5 years for voting fraud. This other woman that was just sentenced for voter fraud is what she is pleading guilty to. So let's see. Eaton is now asking if Barry Morphew can use a hunting rifle. He is an avid hunter and would like to hunt in the upcoming hunting season. Like hunting down your wife and killing your wife wasn't good enough. You want to still kill animals. And they say when you kill animals, you... Anyway, I'm not going to go there. Like, this lawyer is like... asking if he can have a hunting rifle. Oh my God, you guys. What did somebody say to that? See, somebody else is asking, what about the charges for illegally obtaining and using a tranquilizer dart? Yeah, and he admitted to also tranquilizing animals and taking their, what do you call that, them horns, which he wasn't allowed to do either. He admitted to doing. So, like, the guy doesn't follow the law. Like, hello. But let's give him back his rifles and everything else, right? We haven't got an answer on that yet. We don't know what the sentencing is going to be yet. That's still being determined right now. Flower Child, I am there with you. Yeah, apparently he thinks he's above the law. Yeah, exactly, Betty. If he gets nothing for this, then that woman should appeal, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah, can I have my guns back now? Exactly, Butterfly Dana. Okay, let me see over here. I'm just hoping, okay. Request is for firearms and archery. Murphy says it's not too uncommon of a request in this country. Judge has a probation officer in the meeting now who says he can have a muzzle loader and a bow, but not firearms under federal law until the deferred sentence is complete. He's getting a deferred sentence, which means he's not going to get jail time. He's going to be on probation, and he is going to have things that he's going to have to follow. The judge hasn't said it yet, but just by this statement, I know right now that he's getting a deferred sentence, which means as long as he follows all the rules that he's going to be set to, he's not going to jail. Now, the judge hasn't come out and said it yet, but just by this statement alone, I know he's got a deferred sentence. It says the judge has a probation officer in the meeting now who says he can have a muzzle loader and a bow, but not firearms under federal law until the deferred sentence is complete. So for the judge to call in a probation officer, he is going to get probation, which is a deferred sentence, okay? Which means if he breaks any of those conditions of the order that he's going to be on probation and he's going to have things he's going to have to follow, if he breaks any of those conditions, then he'll be sent to jail. But if he completes that, he's not even going to have a record for it. And like I said, I don't want to put nothing in chat about diversion or anything yet, because the judge hasn't said it yet. I'm saying, in my opinion, what I just read, that's what I think he's getting. And I said it right at the beginning before any of this came out that I think he's going to get off. And if he does, there's something seriously wrong. And there's something seriously wrong with this case. Me too. I object. Exactly. There shouldn't have been no plea deal at all. He admitted to doing everything that he was charged with. And some. They didn't charge him for tranquilizing the moose or deer or whatever and taking their antlers and then letting them go. That's illegal. He didn't get charged for that. So it's like, how is he getting off on all this stuff that he admitted to doing in his arrest affidavit? Yeah, and he's got anger issues. Exactly. That lady's case set a precedent. I am outraged. Okay, let's continue, you guys. It's not in stone. When Barry Morphew wants to hunt with a bow and muzzle loader, he has to make a request through his probation officer before hunting. He's getting probation. Everybody involved in the Suzanne Morphew case should be outraged right now. Hey, Martin, how are you? Like I said, it hasn't come out yet that the judge ordered him probation. They could be just, let's cross our fingers, they could be just stating, well, if I do give him probation, these will be the conditions, and they could be arguing those conditions. But I'm almost guaranteeing you that that's what he's got. Well, we've heard a lot about these muzzleloader things in the Dylan Rounds case, right? That we're covering that case too. And we've been hearing a lot about the muzzleloaders and stuff like that. They're illegal to have unless you have a license for it. And be kind, exactly. It just doesn't stop. He's been dismissed without prejudice, so that those charges could still come. And I'll be anxious to get a hold of that probation order. If it's probation that he's going to get. We don't know yet. The judge has not said it yet that that's what he's sentencing him to. They could just be arguing over the conditions if he is sentenced to probation. But my gut's telling me for a judge to call in a probation officer to ask this question, I think that's exactly what he's going to get is probation. And people should be outraged, especially this woman that was just sentenced to 5 years for voter fraud. I'm curious. I'm not saying that you said something wrong. I'm saying I don't want to say that in chat because people may think that that's exactly what he got until it does come out. I'm talking in my opinion. It was my opinion that I think he's going to get probation. But you said he's getting diversion. It's not true because we don't know yet. That's all I'm saying. Crime curious. I don't want people thinking that diversion has been set. And that's how that comment came across. I said that this is what I feel, in my opinion. And that's why I keep even saying to the subscribers here, this is only in my opinion. The judge has not said it yet. So by saying he's got diversion, that's kind of stating that the judge has already said that when he hasn't. So once it comes out, you can say, okay, here we go, you guys. Sentencing. Barry Morphew agreed to a deferred sentence to 1 year supervised probation, no jail time. I believe there should be some sort of punishment, Judge Murphy said. 32 hours of community service, and he can do it in Denver, not Chaffee County, if he wants. So he got a deferred sentence to 1 year, supervised probation, no jail time. That's what he just got. And Judge Murphy says, I believe that there should be some sort of punishment. So he's given him 32 hours of community service. Now, whoever that female was that just got 5 years for voter fraud should be appealing her sentence because Judge Murphy just set a precedent. So 32 hours of community service, and he can do it in Denver, not Chaffee County, if he so chooses. So a 1 year deferred sentence, supervised probation, no jail time. Is exactly what he just got. And that's what I said at the beginning, you guys. Being that he wasn't there in person, I said that tells me two things. that they've made a deal and he's not getting jail time. That's what I said at the beginning. Or he was going to plead not guilty and go to trial. Right at the beginning, that's what I said. And here we go. No jail time. Because if they would have agreed to some kind of jail time, he would have had to be in the courtroom. So that told me right at the beginning that he was not getting jail time, or the only other option at that point being that he was on WebEx was that he was pleading not guilty. It was going to be one of the two. Yes, very disappointing. Very, very disappointing, you guys. Some sort of punishment. 32 hours of community service. Are you kidding me? And a year supervised probation. Exactly. Somebody needs to get this to that woman who just got 5 years for voter fraud. And the thing is, with the other two charges being dropped, it's like he was facing 10 to 15 years in prison if he got convicted of all three of those charges. And so he pleads guilty to one and gets off scot-free. A year supervised probation, no jail. What? When two were felonies and they each carried 5 year sentences. He pled guilty to one of the felonies and he's getting no jail time. Like, there's something wrong here, you guys. Thank you, you guys, for the super stickers. I did miss one earlier. Let me see if I can scroll back to it, you guys. Hopefully I can. I seen one pop up earlier. Here we go. Bebop. Thank you so much, Bebop, for your $10 super sticker. I really appreciate it. It helps keep the channel going. So thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you. And Petra JJ, thank you so much for your $5 super sticker. Okay, let me just... Yeah, he admitted to doing all this in the arrest affidavit. And I don't understand why the plea agreement at all, because he had already admitted to doing it. Why would you need a plea agreement? No jail time. No jail time, you guys. Let that sink in. A woman was just sentenced to 5 years for one felony. He was facing 2 felonies and a misdemeanor. They dropped the misdemeanor and they dropped the other felony. He pled guilty to one felony, which means he should have got 5 years. Okay, you want to make a plea? We'll give you 2.5. He should have got some kind of jail time. And he got nothing. He got 1 year supervised probation. And then the judge goes on to say, I believe there should be some kind of sort of punishment. 32 hours community service. No. Thank you, Marie Burks. Thank you. This case is not justice for Suzanne. No, it's not justice for Suzanne, and it's not justice for the people. This is 2 felonies regarding voter fraud, trying to bribe an official, and a misdemeanor. And he got basically a slap on the wrist again. Thank you very much, Marie Brooks, for the $2 super sticker. I appreciate it. I'm in disbelief. I'm just waiting to see if there's anything else here. That DA's office should be ashamed of themselves. Should be ashamed of themselves to agree to something like this. He walked from the murder charges. Mind you, they can still be brought back. But he got off for now. Maybe forever. Who knows? We don't look at what we're dealing with as a DA's office. They can't even get him jail time on 2 felonies and a misdemeanor. They let him plead down to nothing, to a slap on the wrist. Something is seriously wrong. And yes, the people of Colorado need to wake up. Sarah Adams says it perfectly. He killed his wife, disposed of her, committed voter fraud, bribed a public official, and had a legal long gun, and not one of them landed him in prison. Not one. Not one of those felonies land him in prison. Yet, a woman can commit voter fraud and land herself 5 years in prison. Why is Barry not facing any prison time? Is he? Oh. Are they trying to say he's an upstanding citizen? Is that what they're trying to say? Upstanding citizen. Let's give him a break. Yeah. Why is Barry getting off on everything, you guys? And so far, nothing has come out. Let me read you some of the comments. Matt, Circus Court, no wonder no WebEx. Yeah, exactly. Quid Nuncatic, sorry if I'm not mentioning your name right. Was it already known that he had legal guardianship? P.S. Where is Suzanne Barry? Jerry Lynn says, so kind and weak, meeting all of Barry's needs and wants. I hate to inconvenience him for breaking the friggin' law. Unbelievable. Christy says, wow, unbelievable. A woman just sentenced 5 years in jail in Colorado for the exact same crime, voter crime. Yep. So that woman needs to appeal this right away, and she needs to get out of jail. Something is very corrupt. Well, Shoshana's charges were dismissed too, so. Shoshana's charges dismissed. She's on video stealing a package. Whether it was Barry's or not, she had no legal right to be on that property. Her charges were dismissed. Barry's murder charges were dismissed. And now he's got a slap on the wrist for 2 felonies and a misdemeanor. Yep. So, I mean, I don't think there's anything else that's going to be coming out here. But the people, Colorado, should be in an uproar right now. Yeah, they should have put him up for a week at the Holiday Inn, right, Martin? Like, this is ridiculous. I can just see AK right now. I mean, this probably doesn't surprise him at all with everything that he's dug up, but I do agree, Renee Becker. Smells big time. Mary Michael, you take care, my dear. Oh, the whole thing, even the charges in Suzanne's murder, every case that he's involved in stinks of corruption. There's no way that this guy, that they know he killed Suzanne. And I believe that's it for the coverage, you guys. What he did to Suzanne and dismissed without prejudice. And now this. When there was a woman just recently sentenced to 5 years for voter fraud. That's sad. Insulated. Sorry, you guys, I had a cough. Insulated, the message of Suzanne meant nothing. He's probably hanging in the background somewhere. I can just imagine what he's thinking about this. And like I said, but this probably is not going to surprise him at all. Yeah, and who kisses their lawyer on the lips? I think, and this is the consensus across all the platforms I'm seeing is everybody is just dumbfounded at this, especially knowing that another woman was just sentenced to 5 years in prison, which is the sentence for voter fraud. But he had trying to bribe an official too. I'm sure she didn't have bribing an official. I'm sure she didn't have another misdemeanor, or she could have, I don't know. But she got sentenced to 5 years for voter fraud. Barry had voter fraud, which is a felony, trying to influence an official, which is another felony, and then a misdemeanor regarding a gun. And it's like, and he gets off. It's like a slap on the wrist. Yeah, make it make sense. We're still waiting, Chris. Still waiting. Like, I don't know. Yeah, we still don't know. It's in the arrest affidavit somewhere, but I'd have to go through it page by page. At 130 pages, I just don't have the time for it. But somewhere in there, he did try and bribe, I think it was one of the FBI agents. I'm just going to leave that right there. Yep, there you go, sis. Yep, we're just going to leave that right there. Yeah, it's going to be in the arrest affidavit. And I do believe it was one of his conversations with one of the FBI agents, where he asked the FBI agent, well, if I tell you everything, blah, 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 will you give me immunity or something like that? Or I'll give you everything if you give me immunity, something along them lines. And yeah, there was more that went with it too. But I think that was part of it, those statements that he made. Oh, Marie, we leave that right there. Yeah. So there you got it, you guys. I mean, I'm dumbfounded. He was arrested. He was arrested, and the case has been dismissed without prejudice because the DA's office messed it up. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. I am too, you guys. I'm just like, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say right now. I am in shock. But the one thing I can say is that woman who was just sentenced to 5 years should be appealing her sentence automatically because Judge Murphy just set a precedent. Judy, in a way, I do want to believe that justice will come eventually. But if the justice is corrupt at the bench and beyond, it doesn't matter, I think, at how much they have to nail somebody. I think he's just going to continue to walk. Crime Curious. Dumb question, was Linda Stanley in court today? From that little clip that I did see, I don't believe she was. It was a gentleman that was there. There's been so much outrage over this, Mary Michael. It's like there's been so many petitions and outcries from there was I think it was in Salida. There was an agency that deals with abused women and stuff. They personally wrote a letter to the judge going off on him, really, about him dismissing the domestic violence stuff from court. And it's really funny that the dismissal comes and then he drops off the bench right afterwards. It's like, here's going to be what I'm going to be known for going out and retiring from the bench. This is what I'm going to do. Case dismissed. I'm going to block all your witnesses, so the case got to be dismissed. That's what Judge Lama did before he resigned. And then days after resigned from the case, from the bench. Mark Holbert, that's who was in court today. You're very welcome, Chris. And I'm sure AK appreciates that too. I think she's back active, but I was seeing something else regarding her. I don't want to mention anything yet about it. I don't know if you know more about that, Matt, but I think there was something else she's failed to do, so she may be relieved again. I don't know. I haven't had the time between all these doctor's appointments and everything. I haven't had the time to really look into it deeper. But I know she was reinstated, and she had a certain amount of time that she had to get all these courses done. And I think there's one that she didn't get done yet. So I don't know if she's still active. I haven't had a chance to look into that. Oh, me too, Jenna. It's sick to my stomach. It's just like, right? I don't know. Crime Curious is saying their license is reinstated. Yep. Well, he was initially on the case, and then he was removed because of conflict of interest with Shoshana, and then Shoshana's charges were dropped, dismissed, and then so Judge Lama was brought on. Lama was brought on. Then Judge Lama took away all their witnesses that they needed to prove their case, because if those witnesses could have got on the stand, this case would have been proved against Barry. He took away all those witnesses from the DA. Did the DA mess up with not producing Brady evidence and stuff like that? Absolutely. But to take away every piece of evidence that they had, every witness that they had that could prove that Barry did it, you might as well have just said, you know what, Mr. Morphew, go free. I'm saying that you didn't do it because they can't use these witnesses. That's what he did. And then he resigned from the bench. Pretty shady, if you ask me. You're very, very welcome. And yes, thank Matt too, because I get a lot of information. Matt finds out a lot of these documents and that behind the scenes. So it's like, thank you to Matt too. If you haven't checked him out, check him out. And check him out also on Twitter, Matt Black Inc. So just like his name states here, on Twitter. You find a lot of court documents and stuff like that on many different cases, and a lot of good information. He's got a lot of little short videos and stuff of things that around the Morphew home and stuff like that. Go on over and check him out. He's really good. Yes. Thank you, Matt. Oh, there it is right there on Twitter at BCHBum. Hi. That's his handle on Twitter. Glamma D, I agree. Exactly. Sarah, I don't know. I don't know, my dear. Yep, exactly. And that's what I think some of the bribery was. Like, I'll tell you everything if you give me immunity. Well, if you haven't done anything wrong, what do you need immunity for? Right? Hey, hippie. Yeah, pretty much, right? But I'm telling you, Judge Murphy just set a precedent. Um, Gannon Stout. Funny you should mention that because I will be live with Letitia is back in court. They're supposed to have all the evaluations and everything back, and she is in court on July 28th, and I will be covering that one also. Also, Trezell and Jacqueline West, now they're still fighting to try and get that trial covered by the media. Their trial starts on July 25th. So on July 28th is when Letitia Stout is back in court. They're supposed to have all the information back regarding the evaluation she went for again, and they're going to be setting a trial date. Absolutely, Doreen. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you to Matt. You are very welcome, the real angel. Thank you for being here, everybody. And thanks for following along. I know it wasn't very long today. Yeah, the 11th Judicial District, I'm telling you, there's something seriously wrong there. Thank you, my dear. Willow, thank you for all you do. I hope the Canadian justice system. No, it's not. I worked in the Canadian justice system for over 30 years, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of things that I've always said that Canadian justice system needs to pick up on some of the things that the Americans are using, especially with sentencing and punishment for crimes, because the Canadian justice system is a lot more lax than the American justice system. So no, it's no better here. It's worse. Yeah, me too. Yep, and that's why it was put over till today's date from the last date when he was supposed to be arraigned, because there was a plea deal in the works. Yep. And if you guys remember, she went for the first two evaluations. It was one, and then they had to get a second one done just to confirm that the first one was accurate. And then the defense came to the judge and said, look, at your honor, we want to get another evaluation, not on her mental state, only after the fact that this happened with Gannon. They didn't want anything before that, before the crime happened. They want an evaluation on her mental state since the crime occurred. And he stated to the judge at that point, Letitia's lawyer said, and we're not wanting this so we can change our plea to not guilty by reason of insanity. That's not what we want it for. We want to know what her mental state is since the offense. So the judge okayed it. When that evaluation, which would be the third, came back, they turned around and changed their plea to not guilty by reason of insanity. They're using that evaluation to do so. So when they changed her plea to not guilty by reason of insanity, that's when the court sent her back for another evaluation. So that's where we're at right now. For the lawyer to do that, to stand in front of the judge and lie directly to the judge's face and says, we just want an evaluation on her mental state since the offense, and we're not using that to enter a plea, and we're not doing this so we can enter a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. We just need to know what her mental state was after the fact. And then to turn around and use that evaluation to enter a plea of not guilty. They changed their plea from not guilty to not guilty by reason of insanity. So he lied right to the judge's face. So that's where we are now. She is going to be back in court on the 28th. Actually, the evaluation and everything has been completed long ago. But they're saying that they're going to need time to go over all the paperwork and see what these doctors and these rounds of tests are saying and blah, blah, blah. But they're supposed to, the judge made it clear that on the 28th, he is going to be setting a trial date. Now, what's that going to say? What is that going to say? So yes, it is Mountain Time. So I will be covering it. It's supposed to start at, I believe, 1:30. Let me just check that to be sure, you guys. I'm going to get it up right now to make sure I've got the exact time. Oops. Sorry, you guys. Dockets. Let's check and make double check just to make sure. Ooh. Okay, I was right. It's not 1 p.m. Okay, so that's why I'm particular about what's put in. Here is the docket. 1:30 p.m. So I will be going live at 3:15 p.m. Eastern on the 28th to cover this. She's appearing at 1:30 on the 28th, and it's a status conference. This is where they're going to be going over her last evaluation. It's in front of Judge Werner. And then she has another one here at 6 p.m. With a review with appearance of parties. So, which means she has to be, they're probably just going to put these two together depending on how long this status conference runs. I would assume that they would put this together. It's not in stone. So here they're saying 6 p.m. So I will watch for that to see if it is included in this 1:30 p.m. appearance. We'll keep an eye on that. Okay. So yeah, it's not 1 p.m. It is 1:30 p.m. So I will be online and waiting at 3:15 p.m. I will have my live up and waiting. And that one we are able to stream. So if she is in the courtroom, we should be able to see her. He was never arraigned. No. The charges were never read in open court. He was never arraigned. He pled guilty and got pleaded guilty to one charge and got probation, supervised probation. What goes around comes around, right, you guys? I mean, I do get it. She's doing her job, but thanks for covering, Willow. Another kick in the teeth for Suzanne. Exactly, Matt. I'm with you there, buddy. And like I said, if you haven't checked out Matt, please go check him out on Twitter. And he also has a YouTube channel. Matt, hang on. Let me just get something here, you guys. And we are in for severe thunderstorms coming, so I'm glad that I got this. Okay. Here we go. I got it. Okay, so for those of you who want to go and check out Matt's channel, here it is. And on Twitter, I'm going to get it right now so I can put it in chat. Copy. And here he is on Twitter. So for those of you who would like to go and follow Matt, he's got a lot of really interesting stuff there, you guys. Go and check it out. You won't be disappointed. So I put his YouTube and his Twitter. Thank you. Yeah, I bet you, Linda. Oh my God, I don't even want to think about that. But yeah. Right? I agree, Beach Bum. You rocks too, Matt. I really appreciate everything that you do and everything that you continue to do for this case. And you are a big help when trying to find information and stuff like that too. So I applaud you. You do excellent work. So thank you for that. Yes, it is. It's very frustrating, disappointed. It's like a kick in the you know what cojones. I'm disgusted, really. If you really honestly want to know how I feel, I'm totally disgusted by this. Totally disgusted. Very disappointing. Oh, well, thank you. I enjoy all your stuff too, and it's very informative. And there's a lot of things there that I didn't know. Like I just seen one on your Twitter there, Matt, where you show. I've been trying to explain it to everybody that I said there's a path there, where I believe if you look at the photos of Barry went to work 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever. He had come home the night before and his Bobcat was on the trailer because he doesn't mention anything in any of the affidavit about taking the Bobcat off that trailer. But so he leaves at 5 o'clock in the morning. I believe Suzanne's already dead and gone. He goes to work in Denver. When he comes back from Denver, he is not able to access that trailer or Bobcat, but that Bobcat was off the trailer. So sometime between the time he got home in the afternoon and him murdering Suzanne that night, he used that Bobcat, and it's never mentioned in the affidavit, and he never explains how that Bobcat got off the trailer. When they go through timeline by hour, that what he was doing during that time that he got home and she was sunbathing and he went to bed that night and then left in the morning, they went minute by minute. What did you do throughout that whole time? He never once mentions that taking that Bobcat off the trailer. But you see, the next morning, that Bobcat is off the trailer. And there was a pathway that it looked like that's where the Bobcat had been going. You have on one of your very last posts on Twitter, that pathway. So it's like, yes, there it is. I wasn't imagining things. Yeah, the path down to the river. Yes. Right. And then there's another one farther down on the right. Thank you, stay-at-home mom. Yes, get over there. Give him a subscribe. You won't be disappointed. I don't know, Flyer B.
Hello?
I can't comment on any of the conditions because I haven't seen the probation order. I just got a message that came through and it was sent. Oh, okay. I don't know when you sent that, sis, but I just got it now. I believe she was murdered on Mother's Day evening, like the evening before Mother's Day. Yeah. And it's funny, just the way that all those... Here, hang on. Let me see. Let me see here for a minute. Well, I'm going to ask you first, Matt. Do you mind if I share some of your stuff that is on Twitter. Do you mind if I share it here? They can see what I am referring to. Okay, thank you, Matt. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up. Let me just get it. Here, I'm going to share my screen. You guys are going to see what I mean when I say that Matt has a lot of stuff on his channel here. Okay, so this is the order for expanded media coverage for today. Okay, I'm going to show you what I mean. I got to scroll through here. It's going to be down here. I got to keep scrolling. He's got a lot of good stuff here, you guys. Like a lot of stuff for Suzanne Morphew. So come on over and check this out. Okay, so here's one. Was it in this one, Matt? I think it's in this one. I think it's coming up really quick. Okay, it is in this one. Let me make it bigger for you guys. So this is all on Matt's channel. And this is it here. There's one here and there's one here. Look at this. And I said there is a path coming this way that leads over to here. There's where Matt points it out. So there's one here. And this one, his Bobcat and that was parked here. It looked like the Bobcat had been going in and out of here. And I know AK has on his channel too that there's some stuff that was disturbed right here. But there is a path right here that comes down. And this is what I was saying. Don't they see this path going through here and down? And you can also get to it like up here. So it's like, what the hell? This is the main driveway coming in right here. So you can get to it this way, or you can get to it right through here. And that's where I was seeing the tracks. The Bobcat was on the trailer over here somewhere. It looked like it had gone down here and it looked like it had gone over here. But how did that Bobcat get off the trailer? He never says. In all of the interviews, you see him on video coming home with the trailer, parking the trailer in that here, letting the trailer off, and then parking his truck over here, and the Bobcat's over here on a trailer. He never mentions ever taking that Bobcat off the trailer. But the next day, so at 5 o'clock in the morning, it's still on the trailer. He leaves, he says, or it's not shown. No, we don't see it in the morning. He says he left at 5 a.m. But and goes off to Denver. So the next time this area is seen is when the cops are there talking to one of the daughter's boyfriends. And you can see that the Bobcat is off the trailer. When did that Bobcat get taken off the trailer? Sometime before he left at 5:30 in the morning. Because he parked it there that night when Suzanne was out here suntanning out the back over here. He parked his truck here. He parked the trailer in that here with the Bobcat on it. The Bobcat, he never mentions taking the Bobcat off. Ever. But the next day, when the police arrived there to talk to the daughter's boyfriend, that Bobcat is off the trailer. Who took it off? He doesn't mention it at all when they ask what he did from the time he got home and dropped the trailer here. And he says that he's shooting chipmunks and everything here, and they had dinner and sex and went to bed. And then he leaves in the morning. He went to sleep. He leaves in the morning. Never does he say anything about taking that trailer off. How did that Bobcat get off the trailer? Because it's nowhere in the affidavit. So there's a lot of things that Matt catches in here too. So just go on over and check out his channel, you guys. There's a lot. what's this here? Oh, public net thing. Shit. Okay. I'm blocked from that. I can't get in that. Okay, so. Yeah, exactly, eh? Yeah, we don't even know if she was sunbathing there. We don't know when that picture was taken because we never got to see timestamps or anything on it because it was never going to be allowed into evidence. The judge made sure of that. Yes, he does. It is. It's just sickening, you guys. And it's like, yeah, not in May. Won't do it. It's freezing. Yeah. And don't forget, you guys, when they're saying, oh, somebody come up on the property, they were under COVID. Nobody was really out and about. So for this to be some stranger abduction, like it's all, anyway, I don't even want to get all upset about it again. I don't want to get my guts going. The only way that there was a stranger or somebody that shouldn't be on that property is if Barry brought them there or Barry allowed them to be there. We were in the middle of COVID when COVID first started. Everybody was in lockdown. Yeah, it's not a cold case yet. They're still saying it's not a cold case, but I just want to see that guy in jail and rot. I don't know yet, Flyer B. Like I said, until I get a copy of the probation order, I will not be able to say what terms are there or aren't there. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're very lenient. Exactly. And don't forget, Suzanne's phone pinged at 4 a.m. at the exact spot where her bike was found. At 4 a.m. So he took her phone and disposed of it. For her phone to ping at that spot at 4 a.m. When he said when he got up and left, she was in bed sleeping, snoring away. If she was in bed sleeping and snoring, Barry's own words, how did her phone ping at 4 o'clock in the morning exactly where her bike was found? She didn't put that bike there, and that proved it right there with what Barry said. When he left, she was in bed snoring. So how did her phone ping and how did her bike get there at 4 a.m.? Her phone pinged exactly where that bike was found at 4 a.m. And that was in the very first, some of my readings, one of the very first readings I did of Suzanne. I said, he threw her bike in the back of the truck and tossed it. Like a year before any of this information even came out. One of the readings stated that. And then he said he turned left to chase, to see if there was antlers on this moose or whatever. Really odd that turning left, that's where her helmet's found. You put yourself where the helmet was found. You put yourself where the bike was. And yet that evidence was never going to be allowed in because Judge Lama took it all away. Judge Lama made sure that they would have no expert witnesses to prove anything. And I believe that there was tons of evidence that proved that nobody else could have done this but Barry. Okay. How did her phone ping there at 4 a.m. exactly where that bike was found? How did her phone ping there at 4 a.m. if she was in bed sleeping? Because Barry had her phone. And then he says, oh, I went left to check out a moose at 5 a.m. Well, the moose don't shed at that time of the year. And it's funny that that's the exact area where her helmet was found, which was tossed. Yeah. See Martin saying, Jeff replied to the photo, lovely weather, not you look lovely. Jeff knew it was Barry texting. Like, there's a lot of evidence, you guys, and it's being lost in the controversy that Iris Eaton, and that's what she did. Everything she did was to distract, okay? To get people's mind off of all the actual evidence. Let's bring up that the prosecution did, and the prosecution did mess up. But let's keep throwing that out there and take everybody's attention away from the actual evidence they did have to prove that was Barry, that it could have been nobody else but Barry. And let's get everybody's focus on what the DA is giving us and what they're not, and what's this and what's that. They caused distractions right and left. And before the DA could take care of one motion, they had 5 more that were filed. They could there was no way that the prosecution was ever going to be able to get everything to them in a timely manner, because they timed it out perfectly. So let's hit them with this motion for this evidence that we didn't get. Now they're going to need time to gather that evidence to get it to the defense. But before they could get going on getting that evidence together to get it over to the defense, they nailed them with more motions. We don't have this evidence, so now we want that evidence too. And got them so confused about what they have sent, what they haven't sent. Okay, now you wanted this, now you want this. And it kept going like that. Every couple days there was motions being filed, them saying they didn't get this, they didn't get this, they didn't get this. Now look for that. So they never had time to fulfill the first motion, because they've got more motions and they're spending their time in court hearing these next motions. And they did it very methodically. They had it very well planned out. Burying the prosecution in motions and paperwork is exactly what the defense did. And that's how they got what they got. It's just like I tell you guys, okay, you're going to come and work for me. I need you to go and wash the kitchen floor. Just as you get your bucket and your mop, I say, well, wait a minute. I want you to take them boxes from over there and put them out on the front porch. So you stop doing the bucket stuff and the cleaning stuff. You get the boxes. And as you get the boxes to the living room, I say, well, wait a minute. I need you to go and unclog the toilet upstairs. So now the kitchen floor is waiting. The boxes are waiting because now you're upstairs clearing the toilet. And that's what I mean. They buried the prosecution in motions and paperwork. They were never able to get the first thing done because more things kept coming. Instead of giving it all at once, we just give us everything again. Boom. WD-40 lies. So, I mean, I seen it and I called it. During all these motions, I kept saying, I see what the defense is doing. They're burying them in motions and paperwork. If you guys remember back months ago. Here we go again. They're burying them again. They're burying them again. And it got to the point that they didn't know what was given and what wasn't, because it was just motion after motion after motion after motion. And they could never finish the first one before 10 more came. So it's kind of hard to work in that kind of environment too. They needed a lot more help and they were too stubborn. Linda Stanley was too proud to call it in. Yeah. It'll come. It's going to take a while. I do believe that these charges are going to be refiled, but I believe it's going to take a lot of time. I think it's really going to take a lot of time, and they're going to have every duck in the row. And like I said, in a case like this, you do not arrest the person until you got every bit of evidence in line and copies made and ready to hit that send button to the defense, because of speedy trial, number one, and because you want to make sure they have every piece of evidence that they are entitled to. So you get all your ducks in a row before that arrest is even made, and they didn't do it that way. They were scrambling to get evidence. Now they should have every test back, every DNA, everything should be back. Now, before he's rearrested, you make sure you've got copies of all of that, multiple copies on different formats. So if they can't read it on one, Boom, you send it all in another. You've got everything now. Plus this new stuff, because they'd have to have something new. Plus, this is the new stuff we got that we're refiling on, and have everything ready to send to the defense before you even have him arrested. So when he's arrested, all you got to do after he's arraigned is hit that send button. You've got everything. I hope she haunts his every sleeping moment and every living moment. I hope she haunts him. Right? And like I said, there's a lot of things that are there that we're just not going to be allowed in because of the violations. And it's like, wow. This time they've got to make sure everything, there's a button sitting there waiting. You know that easy button for Staples? They need a button. There you go. There is everything, including the new information that we're filing this on. Everything. And multiple copies on different formats. So they can't say, well, we couldn't open that. That's not the prosecution's problem. Get the equipment to open it. But just to be safe, have it on multiple different formats. Send it all at once. Boom. There you go. Because by now, and by the time they refile these charges, they should have every piece of evidence and testing and everything back already. That's what they need to do. But they need something new. You can only refile if new evidence comes to light. So they need something concrete and they need something new. And they need to make sure their witness lists, witness statements, their expert witnesses, everything, file it all, boom, right at the beginning. Yeah, and keep Linda Stanley the hell away from this case. Yeah, half her staff quit. What was that guy's name? Lindsay quit. Betty Smith says, I follow a YouTube criminal defense lawyer, and he said that's why you normally do it in that situation. That's what's going to happen. It was a lot of motion. I've said that since day one. I've said it since day one, Betty. No, Barry did. Barry sent those Facebook requests. That's why I said it happened the night of Mother's Day. Mother's Day was the next day. What was it, the 9th? Somebody keeps saying the 8th. No, I believe it happened on the 9th because she was, people talked to her on the 9th in the morning. I think there was a call to Sheila or something that she talked to. Betty, there's a lot of stuff that we have not seen yet. And they do have tons. There's more than enough. And I respect your opinion. If you think he's innocent, I just don't agree with it. But you're entitled to your opinion. There has to be something. Martin, she talked to Sheila on the 9th. In the morning of the 9th, she talked to Sheila. Or the evening of the 9th, she talked to Sheila. And then Sheila sent her another message and never got a response. That was on the 9th. Yeah, but she physically talked to Sheila. They said on the 9th, there was a phone call to Sheila that she made. I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain that I seen that there was a phone call. Like literally she talked to her on the phone and then they text later in the afternoon. But there was something there, and I found it in the arrest affidavit that she did talk to somebody, and I believe it was Sheila, on the night. And then they were texting in the afternoon also about, I think it was about, I could be wrong, but I think it was about a wedding that they were texting about later on. And Sheila never got nothing back. Oh, we will. We will, Marie. It's just going to take time. Yeah, the wedding. Are you sure about that, Martin? I'm, like I said, I could be wrong. I know you guys have gone through upwards, sideways, backwards, and everything in that, but I was almost sure that there was a phone call that she made to either her sister or Sheila on the morning of the night. That's how they knew she was still alive the morning of the night. There was a phone call of some kind that she made. So her voice was heard. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I'd have to go through that affidavit again and find it, but I just don't have the time for it. But I do know she was texting Sheila about the wedding, and then all the conversation stopped. And then there was all them guys added as friend requests or whatever, and that I believe was on the 9th too. I don't know. I don't remember. So I could be wrong. You could be right, Martin. I will stand corrected. Okay. I was going to respect your if you thought he was innocent. But no, I definitely do not think Barry is innocent. He's guilty as hell, but I'm disappointed Linda's saying they said she had all sorts of new evidence against Barry and there just wasn't any, it seemed. I do think that there's more there that we hadn't seen, Betty, but who knows, right? If she messed this case up so bad that things that I thought were rock solid really aren't. You know what I mean? And things that I didn't think were an issue are. So, oh my gosh, who knows? Thank you. Hugs and hearts back to you. It's like you think you got something, even one aspect of something, even if it was like one of the hours, and you got that down pat, then there's something else that comes in that proves that wrong. So it's like, and I know AK went over a lot of the pings and timelines and things that I thought had happened, but not at the time frame that I thought happened. That's when he was showing the movement at that other place where I guess he was getting the Bobcat fixed. My time was off compared to his pings. I thought that was at a different time in the afternoon, which it wasn't, and there was other things that were added to that really made it make sense. Okay, so Martin is saying Suzanne's last conversation was with Melinda on Friday morning. So that was like an actual voice talking on the phone. Okay. Like I said, I could be wrong, so thank you for that. Yeah, I know Suzanne had planned to go to Indiana for the wedding that weekend, but she backed out due to COVID. Suzanne didn't want to risk flying due to the cancer, and it was on lockdown. Yeah. Exactly. And not just one or two. I think if they took away one or two, they still had a good chance for a conviction. But to take away 14, come on. Somebody did not want this case going forward. Outside of the defense. I'm not so sure about that, Nana. I'm not so sure about that. Well, yeah, because all the evidence that you do have that would prove that nobody else could have done this but Barry was taken away. Like I said, I gave one example. He said when he left that morning, she was in bed snoring. Okay, you said you left at 4 or 5 or whatever he said at a.m. in the morning. If she was in bed snoring, how was her phone pinging at 4 a.m. right where the bike is found? How was her helmet the other way that you went for this moose, whatever the hell it was he used? And that's where her helmet's found. You know what I mean? It's circumstantial, yes, but when you put enough circumstantial evidence together, it tells a story. Okay, text conversation, but it was Suzanne. Okay. Yep, and that's exactly what I just said. Somebody did not want this case to go forward other than the defense. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I just briefly skimmed through that to important parts I wanted to check out. I have never read it from front to back. I just don't have the time. But if I'm laid up, depending on how all these tests come back, if I end up laid up for a bit, I will have more than enough time to read through it all. See, Beach Bum, me too. There was something in the affidavit that she had a physical phone call with somebody on the day before Mother's Day. I'd have to go back and try and find that. I'm almost sure that she had an actual phone conversation with somebody or a FaceTime or something. It was something that proved that she was alive on the 9th. Like I said, I'd have to go right back through all the affidavit. So anyway, you guys, with that being said, I'm going to let you guys get back to what you need to do today. Again, Barry Morphew escapes jail. You're getting jail time. I shouldn't say escapes jail because he wasn't in jail, but escapes being sent to jail and is again basically getting a slap on the wrist. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that, Martin, that have come out, especially with a lot of the things that, yeah, like how Suzanne and Barry at Moonlight Pizza and Jeff messaging at the same time. Exactly. So, like I said, we'll have to wait and see what happens with this case. Hopefully, they get their crap together and this is brought back. So, with that being said, you guys, thank you all for coming. Thank you to my mods. Thank you, Martin and the Matt. Thank you for all your contributions to all of this. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for sitting and spending some of your day going over what happened with Barry Morphew today. So until the next time, you guys, please take care of yourself. Please stay safe. Love you to the moon and back. Bye-bye for now.